Rick, I don't know what Donald Trump has been running has anything to do with the question that he asked her, but clearly we know that her strategy has changed. Forget the joy and all of that. Now it's Trump, Trump, Trump. He is a bad person. It's all Trump's fault.
Yeah, and you can see that with the Democrat strategy kind of in this closing period that we're, in now. And they're attacking, Trump on democracy, on his ability to lead the country moving forward. And the Dems are going to do that, over the next 2.5 weeks. But if you look at every one of those questions where Bret Baier asked her that held her to account, those are the ones that she couldn't answer. And those are the ones I think she missed opportunities to really connect and communicate with the American people. So the fact that she wasn't able to answer some of those basic questions about, hey, you have been in office 3.5 years. What are you going to do differently from Joe Biden? I mean, she was asked about it in The View a couple of weeks ago. And at that point, it was like, hey, I would do nothing. Okay, great. That's one answer that we do know we have. And then last night, she had an opportunity again, and she talked about bringing new ideas. Are those the new ideas that include, a tax cut on tips, because that was Trump's idea, not yours. So I think, along the way, we got to see the true nature of how she deals with questions that hold her to account. And she did a very poor job at being able to answer those and communicate to the American public why she should be the next president.
Yeah, she just came across as being a frustrated human last night. It was almost like, a kid who was being asked by their parent, why did you do this? What will you do? And they just deflect and they don't want to answer and they stomp their feet. Matt, that's what it seemed like. And then she again, one of my favorite parts of this was when he doubled down and asked her again about Joe Biden and when she knew about his mental decline. And she says, well, Joe Biden's not on the ballot. We know that. You are, which is why you're sitting here and you want to be president. You are on the ballot. So what will you do differently? And we got nothing.
She's not used to follow-ups, and for Republicans, I know I've been on CNN, MSNBC, Bloomberg, all this hostile media for the last 20 years, and you understand that every interview will be hostile, and you go into it makes you better, it makes you sharper. For Democrats, it's very easy to be a Democrat because they avoid places like Newsmax, and they go on places where they'll spoon-feed them questions. Allow them to get away with pablum as an answer, and they're not ready. It's one of the reasons Kamala Harris isn't ready to be president. She's not even ready to go on a pretty middle-of-the-road network and answer questions that I don't think were hostile. I think they're very basic. Anytime I would go on CNN, it would be 3 times as hostile as what she faced. If you can't face a media interview in America as a Democrat, how are you going to face Vladimir Putin? How are you going to look down the regime in Beijing, China? How are you going to face down the mullahs in Iran? If you can't even sit down with Bret Baier without having a little hissy fit, how are you going to sit down with these enemies of civilization? She's just not ready to play the big role.
Yeah, that's a great point. Rick, do you think that this interview moved the needle maybe for people who were thinking maybe they'll vote for her, but they don't know enough about her? Because a lot of critics say that we don't know anything more about her. But Democrats say, they're defending her, saying this was an ambush interview and, she did great. That's at least what the Dems are saying.
Called it a home run.
Yeah.
I didn't see her hit.
Yeah, no, it didn't move the needle at all. In fact, I think it showed the American people that she clearly has a credibility issue still. And when you can't answer basic questions, particularly when it's about your administration and you got to defend your record, then I think that, we saw last night, what she has been unable to do all along. And that is actually explain who she is and what she stands for. So I think, as we move forward, and again, look at the reason for the interview. She is hemorrhaging demographics in key areas. And she was on there to try to win some of those people back. A lot of the focus group stuff that I saw last night, there was no clear indication, even from the undecideds, that they would vote for her given that interview. They just didn't see anything that moved them or compelled them to change their opinion of her. And so I think it did actually damage to her last night as opposed to moving the needle for her.
We'd love to have her on the morning show if she wanted a second go at an interview. Charla and I would love to chat with her on the couch.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. Matt, Rick, thank you both so much. Appreciate it.